And good morning again, everyone. Saturday morning, the 17th of January, 2026. Good old 710 KNUS. Broncos, Bills, 2:30 this afternoon. 38 will be the high today. It's going to be cool and breezy. On Sunday, 50 and sunny. And Monday, snow comes back. I want to bring on, well, actually, one of them has been my co-host. Brando's with me from Devil's Head. And Scott Schulz, who was with us last week from the National, it will be at the National Western, the Colorado Motorcycle Expo. And yesterday, Randy Reardon was with us for lunch. First of all, hey, Scott, thanks, man, and welcome back to the radio show. We got you?
Good morning, Peter. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you for having me on.
On the other line, the man with a plan, Brando's with me. With him yesterday, he is my designer, my builder, and my teacher, the guru. I'm not the man, he's the man. Brando, man, thanks for coming back up on the show.
Well, thanks for having me, Peter. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
It truly is with these guys. And, Scott, I know you know these guys. And the builders and motorcycle people are just really special group of people. You've had the show now how long, Scott?
This will be my 6th year.
Yeah. And
seventh. It'll be the 7th, actually, now that I think about it. And I wanted to say really quickly, since, hey, Brandon, how's it going? And Brandon's working on our awards, our handmade awards for the motorcycle show this year, and we're super excited about it.
He is.
As you know, he's an amazing fabricator.
He truly is. I mean, he and by the way, there's an aside, Scott. I was at a deal, and this guy thought that he was my son.
That was because I got us all in trouble.
Yeah, he did. He got us all in trouble. And the guy said, "Well, your son." And I said, "My son?" And he said, "That big guy." And I said, "Oh no." I said, and then I said, "Yeah, he really is my son." And
I've been accused of worse things, that's for sure.
But the guy looked at him, but he said to me, "Your son." And I'm doing a double pump, and I'm thinking, and then he goes, "That big guy with a beard, your son." And I went, because he got me in trouble, and I went, yeah, sure, he's my son.
I got about 30 people in trouble that day, but that's okay. That's besides the point.
That's okay.
We're super excited for the Colorado Motorcycle Expo coming up, and like you said, we have CNC machined all of the trophy plaques this year, and out of solid billet aluminum, engraved them, everything. They're powder coated. They're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And the idea is, so we have the Colorado Motorcycle Expo with tons of vendors. It's really fun. It's a good place to go shop for stuff, but it's also a huge bike show. It's the biggest bike show in the state all year long. So we want to make it even bigger, and so we're inviting everybody we possibly can to bring their bike, enter it, register online, and show your bike, and then you can win one of these rad trophies we put so much work into.
Scotty, I'm going to put my bike in with Brando's, with his guys, and we were yesterday with Randy Reardon. He's putting a bike in, and it ought to be just a whale of a show. I mean, it's going to be better than it was ever before. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, we are right on track, and again, thank you, Brandon, for supporting everything. We're right on track with having to have more bikes than we did last year, which was 124. So if we always have a lot of last-minute entries coming into the last couple of weeks, and we also have we give $1,000 in a belt buckle to the best of show, and also some cash to the first in each class, and a bunch of cool swag,
which I intend to win this year. I don't really care about winning any of the trophies that I made, but that belt buckle, I got my eye on it.
We'll all be there. Again, it's 31st is the first day, and then it goes to the 2nd. And give it, Scotty, again, give it one more plug.
All right, quick as I can. I'm out here at Sun Harley this morning from 11 to 3. We're doing a pre-sale ticket party, so you can get your discounted tickets if you come on out, get some free pizza. At the show next 2 weeks from now, we have added some FMX and Harley stunt shows this year, and we're having a battle of the bands, which we've had a huge, overwhelming response to. So a lot of cool additions.
It's a lot of throwback, you guys. If you grew up in the culture, it does your soul good to walk through. Brando, we're taking them in, man. We're going to bring, how many bikes are you going to put in?
Oh, I think as a shop, we're putting 4 in.
Okay.
One of them is Allie's in the lady class,
yeah.
So that'll be cool.
Cool.
Then I am sending out an invitation to every one of our customers in the next day or two. So I expect the registrations to explode. So it should be fun.
I have to do it today. I have to go register online. So my bike's going in with Brando. So and the whole thing is just, I look forward to it. We'll do it next week again. Plug it again next week. And hey, we get good. I have to ride in on Friday afternoon with Reardon, and then we'll put everything in and put it together. But Scotty, to you and also to my son, thank you very much for doing the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for the support.
You got to see Brando, then look at me, and this guy.
You need a big beard.
Oh, a big. I look like midget ZZ Tops. You know, if we're gonna remember Midget Kiss. Remember that one? I'd be midget Brando.
Oh man! Next week, remind me, and I'll tell you a really fantastic story about Midget Kiss.
Oh, that's what you got to do next year, Scotty. Is get Midget Kiss as your house band.
Yeah, we've thought about that before. That's pretty fun. Pretty fun stuff for sure.
I'd be midget Brando. I love you both. We'll talk this week. Hey, boss, I'll talk to you this afternoon, man. Thanks, you guys. Thanks very much.
Fantastic.
See that?
Thanks so much, Peter.
Thank you. They're good guys. Coming up in studio, John Bandemir and Bill Vickery, and it's going to be worth the price of admission. All right. We are back in open lines. Wow, you turned this into a liberal show. Now, what's interesting in this era that we live in, that asking a question, asking people to comment, then suddenly you're a liberal. And not questioning, well, there's a rule called listen to the man in the room who says no. If you have 10 people in the room, the ninth guy is mandated to say no. The 10th man says no, and you listen to that man. And now asking a question makes you into a liberal. Morning, Peter. This is the text. The Louisiana Purchase, ? Alaska, ? Why not Greenland? Well, I'll stop you right there. The Louisiana Purchase was offered to be sold. Alaska was Stuart's Folly, was offered to be sold. Why not Greenland? Well, they're not offering Greenland. They're not saying, hey, come buy Greenland. It's Greenland. It's not Louisiana Purchase. There's a really interesting history. Everybody is posturing right now to get the best deal. By the way, Trump gets a solid B. Don't forget the C's get degrees. That's a very good one. In Louisiana Purchase, that was the mosquito. I've become a little mosquito geek. There was a slave revolt in Haiti, and Haiti was being held by the Imperial French. And Napoleon set his military to Haiti to quell the uprising, the rebellion. Well, when his army landed in Haiti, they were all bitten by mosquitoes, and they died. His soldiers got sick, and they died, and so he needed money. What did he do? He offered to Jefferson, he offered Louisiana as if it was his. And Thomas Jefferson buys Louisiana, sets off Lewis and Clark, but it's the mosquito that predicates the sale. And again, Louisiana Purchase was offered to be sold. Alaska was offered to be sold by the Russians. Why not Greenland? Well, the reason is because they don't want to sell it. Peter, what are your thoughts about Trump flipping off and mouthing "F you" at the auto worker? So presidential, he's an embarrassment. Well, the part of it is he's a New Yorker. And it's like, when they do that, you do this. I don't know. But that upset everybody. Lines are lighting up, 303-696-1971. I can't wait for the guys to be in studio this morning. That's just going to be a show. I need a name on the wall, and we'll jump there. But your thoughts about Trump flipping off and mouthing "F you" at the auto worker? Well, Let's go to Katie in Colorado. Hey, Katie, good morning. Thank you.
Yes, I wanted to call. I've been driving and I've been trying to call you, but I had to stop to dial the number.
Okay.
I'm Danish. My family's from Denmark, all over Denmark. And I have a cousin there who is a doctor. His wife is a dentist. And they go every summer to Greenland to offer their services because they love the people there and the people there love them. And what you're saying is that we shouldn't move right in. You put it in a disgusting way. We, the United States, should move in. We need Greenland for safety reasons. Definitely safety reasons.
Do we need Mexico?
No, wait just a minute. We need Greenland. That's what I'm calling about.
Okay.
I'm Danish, and I'm telling you, I've been Danish all my life, and that is necessary. And the people of Greenland want to be Americans.
Where can I read that the people in Greenland want to be Americans?
The ones I know do, and the ones my cousin works with as a doctor, and the one his wife works with, a dentist.
You know, we need Mexico much more than we need Greenland.
Okay, I don't want to talk anymore. I have a doctor's appointment, but I just want to tell you, you're absolutely wrong.
Okay.
Say what you did about the United States and Greenland. Goodbye.
Goodbye. 303-696-1971. We need Mexico infinitely more than we need Greenland. That's the source of all the drugs. The drugs weren't coming from Venezuela. Those drugs were going to Europe. And the killer drugs, fentanyl and meth, they're coming from Mexico. We need Mexico. Given the model of why you should take another country, I'd much rather see the United States take Mexico. And it tried it during Woodrow Wilson. We should take Mexico, and it tried it in the Spanish-American War. Not in the Spanish-American War, but it tried it during Woodrow Wilson and Jack Pershing, but it had tried that before that, the Mexican War. Remember, U.S. Grant was a young officer. Robert E. Lee was in the American military. I think Jeb Stuart was, and they went into Mexico. And if you're going to take a country, take Mexico. You can do a lot. You can stop a lot more damage than you can in Venezuela. But there's no oil. Well, there is oil in Mexico. I take it all back. Maybe it should be done that way. Email or text message, Peter, everything is for sale. Not everything. Everything is for sale. Not everything. Should the United States own, control, bring in Greenland? Should Greenland be another state of the Union? And what about Venezuela? 303-696-1971. We go to Troy and Thornton. Hey, Troy, you're on the show. Good morning.
Good morning to you. That was fast, man. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
You mentioned about us kind of being very crappy to our friends in Europe.
I was just reading that. That's all.
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
But I was just thinking, when you said that, I was thinking about Vance's speech he gave in Europe a few months ago, maybe a year ago, basically saying, what are you guys doing? You're kind of stripping away free speech rights. You're doing this.
Oh, they are.
All these things going on.
Yes.
Are they still our friends?
Well, according to NATO, they are. Or according to trade agreements, yeah. Or according to tourism, yeah. But no, I mean, I wouldn't want to live under the French system.
Oh God, no.
And I wouldn't want to have
what's going on in Germany. No.
Yeah, but that's
living in Britain, where you've got these large communities that are kind of self-segregated. I don't want to live in it.
No, I don't want that either. But it's
so. Are they still our friends? Really?
Well,
I mean, can we trust them to have the same kind of, at least foundational kind of cultural, something culturally foundation that we can all kind of agree on? I don't know if we can still do that.
Well, you make a great case. There's most places in the world state-owned media already, and
Oh yeah.
and everything that goes with it. That's a great question, and I don't have an answer for it, but you can see where people, especially First Amendment rights, speech rights, where people now have hate speech, and people are tried for what they say.
I know.
And by the way, we're kind of headed for that in this country. You know that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
I mean, if you look hard at what's happened, I mean, it comes from both sides. And when there's no wiggle room, you get a bad viewpoint. And I just witnessed it just moments ago, where this guy was saying the show turned into a liberal show for asking.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, but for asking at a 1 year mark, or asking about Greenland.
And that kind of goes both ways, because if you're kind of right of center and you ask a question, well, then you're a fascist or a Nazi or something.
Yeah, no,
It's crazy stuff.
But here, Greenland is needed as our possession, i.e. Puerto Rico. Well, Puerto Rico was taken after the Spanish-American War. That becomes a possession like the Philippines became. It's ours. The Spanish had it. We took it from them. So now it's ours. Puerto Rico is a bizarre. I mean,
it's not like we're being threatened or anything, so we can go in and justify taking it. And don't we already have military bases on Greenland?
Yeah, absolutely. And
why don't we just?
That was.
I'm sorry. Why don't we just buttress some
sorry. You say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, brother.
I'm sorry, man. Well, if we've already got military bases there, then why don't we just buttress that? Make some kind of a deal with Denmark, with Greenland, buttress up those military bases, so we can so we have that kind of wall with Russia coming through.
The ability to launch, and I can't even imagine it, MIRVed missiles at the United States of America. Greenland isn't going to mean squat one way or the other.
No.
I don't get this. And I mentioned that when Sputnik was launched, what year? 57, I think. And Lyndon Johnson was a senator from Texas, crying in the well of the Senate, talking about how the Soviets are going to be able to rain missiles down from the moon without figuring out it could take 3 days to get a missile here from the moon, and they could get one to the United States in, 23 minutes or something, launching out of one of their submarines. Or you start to use that mindset. I don't fear Greenland, and I don't fear. I mean, if you're going to try and stop people from floating into international waters, man, you're really asking for trouble. You want to grab Greenland?
Do I want to?
Yeah.
No, I think if we've already got military bases there, why don't we just buttress those things up? If that's what's going to make people feel good.
Take Mexico. That's what we should do.
Well, yeah, I've kind of thought that for a while.
Yeah,
I don't understand why we just don't put the military on the southern border and start marching south.
Just go take Mexico. And now you want to stop drugs in this country? It's not Venezuela.
Yeah.
It's Mexico. Let's go get them.
No, and I do appreciate Trump saying that, being asked if it was about oil, he just went, yeah.
Yeah, of course it was.
I do appreciate that because it was about oil.
Yeah, of course it's about oil. It's always about oil.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We're turning around. 303-696-1971. There's a line open. It's going to be 38, and it's cold. It's going to be a cold, windy game. Coming in the studio, John Vandermeer and Bill Vickery. They're coming at 11 o'clock. Hang on, everybody. 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast on this Saturday will have the sunshine and some breezy northwest winds that'll get to around 20 to 30. Highs upper 30s and low 40s with lows upper 20s this evening, and then temps could rise through the 30s. Highs on Sunday in the low to mid 50s. Some brisk winds as we end the weekend, but it will be dry with another front dropping us to the upper teens for lows Sunday night. Martin Luther King Day, sunny, highs mid 40s, upper 50s Tuesday. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Good morning, everyone, on a Saturday. Coming up, John Vandermeer and Bill Vickery. John's here with me now. 710 KNUS 38, cloudy and breezy. Tomorrow, 50, and Monday, it's going to be maybe some snow. Before we go, a lot to read and a lot of calls to take. David Ellis, Cherry Creek. You've heard me talking about David and taking valuables to David Ellis. David Ellis Jewelers to get a fortune in cash and secure an appraisal from David for all the valuables you have tucked away in your home. It's still true. Here comes Valentine's Day. Let me share the reasons to see David, just in case you don't have a Rolex watch, rare coins, or a silver tea set. See David for all your most meaningful gift-giving occasions. Here comes Valentine's Day. David Ellis Jewelers takes just the right items, just the right prices for the special people that mean the most. An antique watch, an emerald pendant, a gold necklace, a diamond ring. This trusted jeweler's been buying precious metals and antiques in Colorado for decades, has the dazzling display cases, hundreds of new and used pieces. Visit my friend David. See for yourself. Look for the black awning on the corner of 3rd and Clayton and Cherry Creek. Explore DavidEllisJewelers.com. See my friend David Ellis. You can talk to him at 303-322-8779, 303-322-8779, and tell David that Peter Boyles sent you. All right, to the wall, and then we'll go to the phones. Peter, if Trump takes over Mexico, there would be more Mexican Americans than ever. Isn't that from ridding us of brown people? That's awful. Hi, Peter. This is a long one. That's going to take a lot. Somebody put some work into that. I'll come back to it. Hypersonic missiles have changed the strategic game. I agree. And Peter, everything is for sale. This is pretty long, and I'll try and find it. Okay, let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Nick in Denver. Hey, Nick, thank you for waiting. You're on the air. Good morning.
Thanks for taking my call.
Pleasure.
Is this just another example of Trump staking out a far-out position, knowing that it's not going to happen, and then he can dial it back and say he's involved in compromise?
Give me an example of another one.
Right off the top of my bat, I haven't had my first cup of coffee, so
Okay.
I can't think of it. But he seems to do that. He takes a far-out position, then he can dial it back and claim he's being a moderate.
Well, there's two things that are happening right now. One is, his handlers and his press secretary say he's joking about not holding elections. I don't think you joke about that. But knowing that it's Donald Trump, let it go. Perhaps it's true that it's a joke. Now the other one is Greenland and taking Greenland, and there seems to have a lot of support. But you can't just take a country. I mean, you just can't do that. It's called an invasion. But the American military has installations there that go back to the Second World War.
Yes, they do.
And that was the deals between FDR and Churchill when they meet off the coast of Newfoundland. That's the foundation of NATO. And it's an agreement. And that was the great Lend-Lease speech. We talked about it earlier. When your neighbor's house is on fire, you loan the hose. I don't think that's what we're talking about here.
Do you think he's serious?
I can't judge the guy. There's times that I think I take him at serious. I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Now, from a military, he's using the military argument as the main reason why he wants to go in there. And as you've mentioned, and a lot of people have mentioned, we already have bases there.
Yeah.
And Denmark would be more than willing to permit us to build more bases or expand the different bases, the existing bases, if that were needed, if the military system needed. Secondly, technology has completely evolved to the point where it actually makes more sense to have your bases on ships that are mobile and can move around. And they're just as effective, even more effective than a fixed base on land.
We became, it's interesting to see the history of the Navy, where it's a battleship Navy until Pearl Harbor. Then it becomes an aircraft carrier Navy, and now it's a missile cruiser submarine Navy. Although you still need the aircraft carriers, but submarines now, wow, it's amazing what can be done. And launching missiles at one another, MIRVing missiles at one another. I don't know what the period is between go and when they land in a Scorpion war that ends everything. So I don't know all this. Here, let me see what this one says. Getting a lot of mail. Peter, it's all transactional with Trump. Historical alliances, partnering with friends, the whole idea of NATO, defensive democratic ideas mean nothing to him. As a real estate person, it's all about acquiring assets with no regard to real American values. Last year has been a disgraceful embarrassment. He's taking all of the country down the toilet. It will take decades to fix everything he's broken. It's again, I'm reading everything that comes in, good, bad, and indifferent. So, I was going to say, if you're going to claim a country, make it Mexico. That's where the real...
Well, all I'm saying is Denmark is not going to agree to this. And secondly, the military argument that he's putting forward doesn't hold any water anymore because technology has moved on.
Agreed. Thank you. 303-6, let me read this. Peter, you're asking people about their opinions about Trump's intentions and other atrocities committing against others, especially the people in Minnesota. What is your honest opinion? Well, let me go to take the call and we'll talk. Don in Lakewood, you're on the radio show. Good morning. Thank you. It's Saturday.
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me better?
I can. Go ahead.
So I asked you a question earlier, and I don't think you caught the first thing I said.
All right.
That if Trump in 2016 would have had the support of the media and the government, and in particular the Republican Party, what would it look like in 2020? I had a couple people call me and said, well, you didn't answer the question you went into.
Well, I didn't
the
hear
media
it.
being feckless. Yeah, well, so what's your opinion?
Well, I wasn't. Hold on a second. I wasn't being feckless. I didn't know what you meant. If Donald Trump would have had the support, Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton in 2016.
That's not what I'm saying.
I know.
If
you would let me answer it,
well,
I'll try to. First of all, he was the rebel, and he probably didn't want the media with him. If he'd have had the media, I don't know. Hillary Clinton had the media and lost. So I don't know why having the media one way or the other. And in terms of having the government, Hillary had the government, and she got beat. Donald Trump beat her. I don't know what the question is. I'm sorry.
The question is, it's real simple. What is your opinion that if he would have had the media support, forget about Hillary, and if he would have had at least the support of the Republican Party and not all the rhinos and people like Paul Ryan, etc., and the mass exodus of people like Jason Chaffetz and Trey Gowdy in 20. What if he would have actually had?
Yeah.
If he would have, I'm just asking your opinion.
I understand it.
What do you
I don't
think it'll look like in 2020?
I don't think. First of all, I don't think it would have made any difference. If you go and read voting behavior when he beat Hillary Clinton, and that's important to say, he beat Hillary Clinton. You found people, and there's wonderful books and studies. They were in West Virginia, they were in Indiana, they were throughout the Midwest, who had been Union men and women all of their lives. They jettisoned the Union because of everything that's gone on with the Clintons, and they turn around and they vote for Donald Trump. That's how it happened. Now, I don't think voting, and again, if you say you had to have ABC to win, or if you'd had ABC, it's an abstract thing, and I'm trying my damnedest, Don.
It has nothing to do with him. It had nothing to do with him winning.
Yes, it did. He won.
I'm talking hypothetically, Peter.
Well, I don't.
Trump would have had the support of the media instead of all this crap he had to take, and the support of the government, none of the impeachment, none of the election, any of that stuff. What would this country look like in 2020? You think it would have been good? You think it would have been okay, the same, bad?
I don't see, and okay, I'll say it would have been great. Now you'll feel better.
No, not necessarily. I'm just, I respect your opinion.
Well, I don't have one. I don't have one about something
if you don't have an opinion on something hypothetical, that's okay. That's no big deal.
Let's look at, but let me do this with you, Don. Listen to me, please. Look at the real. Don't look at some, whifty hypothetical question that I don't think really can be answered correctly. But look at the reality of it, and look at the Clintons. Look at the Clintons now. My heavens, people have finally caught up with Bill and Hill. That's a better question: is how long did they skate? And Trump,
they skated for a lot of reasons because they never got reported on for the people they were. Did you ever read Christopher Hitchens?
I actually met him. I know who he was.
Okay. Did you ever read? Trying to think the name of it. No One Left to Lie To: The Triangulation of William Jefferson Clinton. Did you read that?
No, I did not read that one.
That came out, I think, around 2000. Okay. Very good book. He really gets into what a piece of work the Clinton clan was back then.
Yes.
So
I'll tell you what the experience that I had was Jennifer Flowers. When I was working at KHOW doing mornings and we were on Lawrence Street,
I remember that.
All right, my boss came to me and said Jennifer Flowers was living in Denver, engaged to be married to this prominent lawyer, no names, and she wanted to become a talk show host. And they asked if I would shepherd her and have her in studio. And she sat with me 10 shows, 12 shows, 4-hour shows, and she talked about Bill Clinton. And the problem with Jennifer Flowers is, remember, she sold her story to the Inquirer. And once you sell your story, then, you're like the woman that saw O.J. that morning in the Blazer. She saw him, and she sold her story. The Ramsey's housekeeper, she sold her story. So Jennifer Flowers, but she sat and told me stories, Don, about Bill Clinton. And when
and you believed?
Oh, absolutely believed.
Okay.
I mean, it's totally believed.
These are stories we don't want to repeat on the air.
No, I mean, I'll just tell you about him using cocaine and, and saying...
Well, that goes back to Governor in Mena, Arkansas.
My point is, here I had an eyewitness who was telling me stories about, who had been Bill Clinton's lover. She'd been a television news reporter, and she had a lengthy affair with Bill Clinton, who said all kinds of stuff about his wife, and she was the one that said to me, "Look at Webster Hubbell, and look at his lip hanging out like that. Now look at Chelsea." And she, did you ever hear?
That's just like. Yeah, I show that to people.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah.
Just like they've got the same thing with Frank Marshall Davis.
Sure, and that's true too. And I took a lot of heat for that.
For people who don't know Frank Marshall Davis, he's probably Barack Obama's father.
I don't think probably. I think he is.
Not the real. Well, you and I don't, but you know.
I think they faked.
We get a lot of blowback, don't we?
Well, yeah, but listen, I went through all that stuff everything about that, and that's why when I got a text here about your call, Peter. What the caller is asking about is the media's total lack of support during Trump's term, not the vote. Yeah, I agree. The media didn't support Trump, but he still won. I mean, it's like. The
end result, Peter, was your opinion of what 2020 might have looked like this country. Well, okay.
He lost.
That's just an opinion.
He lost.
And, I know. Hypothetical.
Brother, he lost 2020. He won 2016. He came back and he won 24. That's the truth of it.
I'm basically talking the state and condition of the country. Anyway, let's don't belabor that. We're beating a dead dog.
Yeah.
I got a couple quick things I want to ask you.
All right.
William Fortune and Joel Gilbert. Are they around anymore?
Joel Gilbert's a friend. Fortune, I knew slightly. Joel Gilbert, I spent time with. I was in a movie with him.
Really?
Yeah.
What's he doing these days?
You know what? Because I'm only working one day a week, I honestly, Don, I don't know.
He did some good work.
He was great, and he was a good friend.
And Fortune, I started getting into him.
Yep.
I don't remember before or after he was on your show.
Yeah.
1 second after.
Yeah. No, he did another
MP
one.
Series.
He did 1 year after, and his co.
1 year, 1 second after, 1 day after.
You want to stay?
After.
I got a break. You want to stay, or you want to go?
You know what? I got things to do. Wonderful talking to you.
Thanks,
Pete.
brother. You too.
Always
Good
a pleasure.
call. You too. Thank you. 303-696-1971, Saturday morning. Coming up, John Bandemir and Bill Vickery. Lines are open. There you go. 710 KNUS on a good morning and a great morning coming up with John Bandemir and Bill Vickery. And, of course, it's the Bronco Saturday, and it's kind of cold on calls. Generally, we're jammed lined from 9 a.m. to 1, and I think people were really doing other things this morning, and I more than understand it. 710 KNUS, good morning. John Bandemir is here with me already in studio and waiting for Bill. But we were talking during the break, and we were talking about my experiences with Jennifer Flowers, and then the books and people that have written about, because the Clintons are really back in the spotlight, and they're running a contempt beef right now. And like the last caller said, it's about time. And the books about the end of the Clintons are always the best, and that was no more a marriage. That was a business relationship. And Jennifer Flowers called it that. It was a business relationship. And all the different things about what they had done and what they got away with and who covered down for them. But in the end, and we are in the end now of them, I don't think they have cover anymore. I don't think they have what the one caller called government protection. I think it's gone. I think they've alienated so many people, or they just run out. It's like some mob boss that has lost his, he lost his crew or lost his family, that he's naked, he's in the wind, and he's done. But that final night in the Javits Center was the great giveaway on Hillary Clinton, and she got drunk and she wouldn't call Donald Trump and say that he had won, and Barack Obama had to call her to call him, and she throws the big sheet cake through the Saudi television and goes out and says, I'm going to fight on through and they send out, come on, Peter, but they're in the Javits Center. Who goes out? Who was? John Podesta went out and they made the statements to the gathering audience how we're going to fight on through the night. My good friend Danny Kaplis, and Danny suggests that you choose an attorney who shares your values, because who you choose to represent you in an injury case says so much about you and everybody involved. And Dan grew up, his dad's a cop. We've talked a lot. He won the golf scholarship and came out here to play golf at CU, and the rest is history. Believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar jury verdicts, Colorado cases, believed to have won the largest truck crash case in Colorado history. He helped my family, and what he did for us, he was so caring, and he was Dan Kaplis. Official law firm now, the Nuggets and the Avalanche, and serious firm for serious cases. Danny accepts the righteous injury cases, percentage fee basis, represents good people from all walks of life without any regard to pay. If you need the man, he is the man. 303-770-5551, 303-770-5551, or hit Dan Kaplis Law, CAPLIS Law.com. It's CAPLIS Law.com. We go, what's the name on line one? Mark? Is that Mark? Mark, Mike, you're on a radio show. Thanks, man. Good morning.
Good morning, Pete. This is Mike, your retired UPD friend. And kind of off topic, but I wanted to, I saw something on Facebook about Mad Dog Vachon, and it led me to something about Verne Gagne that I did not know.
He killed a guy. He killed a guy in a nursing home. Yeah.
That's what I want. I knew you probably knew it, but it shocked me.
Well,
he killed a guy in a nursing home.
He killed, and he was so demented that I don't know how you could stand him for trial. His roommate was a doctor, a little skinny guy like me, and Verne picked him up and body slammed him on the hard floor in the nursing home and killed him. And that's how Verne killed the guy in the end. True.
Yeah, the story came up on a feed that I was reading,
no, and
true. I surprised me, but I knew that you would know. It just surprised me.
Well,
and I was,
Verne, I worked for Verne for off and on for about 4 or 5 years. He was a stern guy. He was a taskmaster, but it was done right. He was one of those guys. And he had played football for Green Bay. He had wrestled for the, 1948 Olympics or whatever year it was. That's where he met the Vachons. They were Canadian wrestlers, and they were wrestling for the Canadian Olympic team. And he played pro ball, and then he broke away and became a pro wrestler. Verne made a tremendous amount of money, and in the end, he locks into some real estate fight, and he loses to Vince McMahon. How everything is changing, and Verne tries to keep it the old way, and his best guys leave for money, and it ended up kind of ashes in the end for Verne, but.
And his son Greg, played football up at Wyoming, and then he wrestles.
And he met a guy, Jim Brunzell, and I got to know Brunzell pretty well. And Brunzell, they all worked for Verne, and I did the ring and did
Blackjack
Lanza, sure, Blackjack
Lanza.
Yeah,
and it was just amazing. I remember that when you worked it. It's the old auditorium arena, and people would throw beer and popcorn and everything else. It's a deal.
When you get out of there, you get out of there with your life. And it was, the very first, real quick, really, the first time. And then I was doing this noonday show on Cat Radio, and I went to see who was, I'll give you the name of the promoter, and they said, well, they don't do radio because they get jacked, and I said, well, and they sent Verne in, and Verne did the first radio show with me, and I laid down, I marked all for Verne, and so that was all they needed to know, that I was a mark. And I think Larry Henning was the next guy, and then I finally got my way to Heenan, and it was like when they decided that Verne was he wanted to get some rest and get a little time off, and so they dropped the strap to Nick Bockwinkel, and no, it's like it was just a great time. I really had never had a better time. So yeah.
And I was there when I was there at the crime scene when Gene Reed was murdered.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
never solved it.
To me, never solved it. There was 2 murders.
Yes.
Right there in that hilltop area.
Yep.
And I was there at both. And, I wondered because they solved the one, and I wonder if they were connected.
Well, they found, I think they find him in the doorway. Gene.
He was down in like the basement area, and both of them were like home invasion type burglaries. And it was just kind of a weird thing because in that area, that hilltop area, pretty affluent people, both of them, the prominent Jewish people. And to me, I'm just in awe because it just took me back to my boyhood. If you go down the walls, he had all these pictures of all the wrestlers I grew up.
He owned a motel that they used to stay in out on East Colfax, and that's where Mad Dog got into that fight with those guys, and he beat everybody up. And they didn't realize.
And I was a huge Mad Dog fan. I would go with my grandma.
Call me, we'll talk. I'll tell you, I had great times. He was way smart, and when the Crusher died, I helped write a eulogy, and the dog and his brother's name was Paul, and they were way tough, both of them. I got to jump. We got our guest coming up. Thank you. In studio, John Vandermeer and Bill Vickery.